So last week, Friday, we started understanding the metadata and how to create a metadata in Talend. So we'll start from there again. Back here. Okay. So let me create new one to understand metadata. So last Friday we created a customer related metadata. So now the requirement today we have to create a metadata using metadata. So somebody already created a addresses as one metadata. They have one file. So we have to read that. So earlier we are using the component and we try to configure in a built-in and we try to pull the data and all. Right now somebody has already created, so they're asking us to use the same metadata. So already we have seen that. So how to drag the component from metadata. So difference is from palette you will get only the component, you won't see any configuration, but metadata you are going to see all the configurations, whatever file path and the schema, whatever you have given the definition, and it will automatically when you are reading the file, metadata will automatically set the data types also. That's where we have seen last week. So when there is a integer type, automatically it will try to pull the data as integer. So that is the intelligence whatever it is given by the logic which has implemented by them. So automatically based on data it will try to pull the data types also. But sometimes I told you, right, if the file is not able to parse that data type, then we have to make sure we are taking care of the data type change and all. So let's launch open. So try to drag this. So how to drag this metadata file? You just drag this. It's taking time. So this is how we are going to see the data and all. So now we are going to drag this component. I want as a input component. I want to read from this data. I want to write onto the Excel. So the requirement I have to read the delimiter file. It's someone shared with us. We have to create a Excel file and we have to see how we are going to use the metadata here. So now this is a we have to read the data, so we have to obviously we have to the input data. So you can see, right, a number of components which are available which can be used the same schema. But right now for this, right, we want to have t file input delimiter. So we, this is a delimited. So delimiter you are going to have, so delimiter we are going to have, and you can see what are all the file path and related schema. Everything is a readable mode. So it is not going to be editable. You cannot edit it. So this one they can make sure you don't have a access to write. So that they can make it in a enterprise version. They'll make that as a complete read mode. But this is a open source. Still you can able to built in your job. So you want to change this one metadata, you won't go and change the data type. So generally you want to change, you can do that. But if they are going to very strict about the data types and file path, the location automatically they have created, they'll make it as a read mode in an enterprise version. Right now you can able to edit, and whatever you want to change you can easily change here. You want to change the path, or you want to change the any data type of the field and all. So now we have dragged, and you can see that. So here you can see property type. So property type means the property where it is coming. It is from metadata or built-in. So built-in means it's always going to be a within job. It's going to be within job. So it's not going to be available for other developers. They cannot see what is your column names and data types you define. They have to still they open and see your job. But when you create a metadata, so everyone able to see. If you are working in a remote environment which all the people can access whatever you created, so they can easily go here and they can check what columns you have created here. But you have used in a built-in mode. So for example, if I create a built-in component and I just created some schema, so this one I have to tell which job I have used and what I created. Like this I created, they don't know what schema and all. If they want the same file or the same schema, they want to use it, then they have to go to your job and they have to open it. So like this, the advantage of built-in and repository is that once you created, you can use a number of times, and once it is created, it is available to all the team members which who are all working within your team, which have who have access to that environment. They can able to see. So the advantages are like it is a reusable component, and it is going to be a one time work, so it's not going to be rework. So n number of times you can use the same thing. So that's where we just dragged it. We didn't configure. So one time we have configured it, and we try to just pull that component and trying to read. So same thing we did earlier also. Last week n number of times we created a component and we try to map the schema and all. But right now our life will become a very simple. Within 2 minutes you can able to create a job, and you can pull the data and push. So to print the log row, like last week I tried to create a what is the schema is there in a file and all, but that work already done last week. So it is simple now. So it's going to be just drag and up, and the schema is already there. But only thing what we have to check, the customer data file is available in this location or not. If the file is not there, then you will not get any data, right? It will throw error. But right now we have a file, so we'll see how it is going to be. So just we are trying to read again. We are not writing an Excel. We are just printing on log row. So now you see, right? So we are able to read the data, and data type is whatever you have defined in a schema, metadata, that's going to be your data type. So now looks good. The data is looks good. So I want to write onto this Excel file. So if you want to write Excel file, what is the component? You have to take T file output Excel. So I'm going to map this row. Why we are connecting row main? So main row main is the process which can process the data from one component to other component. So we always, you want to pass the data one by row by row to other immediate component which is you are going to connect. So if it is not able to accept the input component data, the connection won't come for main and all. If the component is able to read whatever data you are writing, that is going to have the connection row main. So now you can see this one also have main, so you can write from here to some other component. So you have to verify the component has a like a permission to read the data from the file. So always the component which has a schema and all, that means you will have a main. So if you have that property is called build like a schema reading and all, then you can able to pass the data to the next component. So you can use that row main. So this one, right? So I have to define again the schema and all. Instead of that, already same schema we have already used. So I just want to use the same schema. I don't want to redefine or recreate the same schema again in this component. So what we have to do, we have to select the repository, and you can find is there any Excel data which is available in your thing. So you don't have anything. So what to do now? So simply again we have to copy paste from this component. So you have to find is there any built-in someone has metadata created for this or not. If not created, then there is no option. You have to go to the your edit schema, and you have to select this. You can click on copy icon. You can see the copy icon. Then automatically you will get a paste icon activated in this component. And I want a auto size for all the columns, and I want to include header. And where is my location? I want to pass this to someone or like a someone inbound. So this is going to be outbound for them. So I'm going to create under outbound folder. So what is this? This is from metadata. Delimiter file to Excel. We are trying to create a file. Okay. And advanced settings, if there is anything, no, don't generate empty file. So then I'll go and run this job. Okay, so created a file. I'll go there and we can find, yeah. So we'll open this. Yeah, so now you see, right, auto size we have selected. So automatically the width of the each and every cell, it is adjusted automatically, so you can see properly this data. So now I want to create a metadata for this one. So now we have very clear about the data type and all for this field. So what we have to do, so you go to the metadata, and you can find that Excel related metadata. Go to this and you can create a metadata for this one, so that you can use instead of copy pasting or your schema. So it is going to be fixed schema, so everyone can able to read it easily. So instead of copy pasting multiple times, now you can see, right? So sheet 1, and you can go next. So first column set as header, we have a header. See, so it's giving this, and you can go this schema. So these are all options which are available in a component level configuration also. Same thing they are giving. So now you see, right, data type automatically it is selected ID as integer and zip as integer, because these two fields have integer data. So that kind of intelligence, it is reading, while it is reading data from metadata, it is able to identify the data which has integer type, numeric fields and all. So that's where it is selecting automatically integer. But you feel still it is not an integer, it may come with a combination of characters and numerics, then you can change, then you have to change it to string obviously. But still it is trying, it didn't find any like kind of combination of characters and numerics. That's where it is selected integer. So if you are good with that, it is an integer type or the data type defined by source system, then you can leave it that as an integer. If you feel it is not a integer type, but it is going to come as a combination of characters and numeric, then you can change here as a string, so that it will be available for when data comes. Right now we have only numerics, but tomorrow you are going to have a combination of characters, then it is going to fail because it's not an integer. So when you are writing also, you have to make sure what the source system is and what target system is. So the reading of data types are very important. So right now we are good. So we have an integer data type for both, and length you can find, right? You want to change the length, you can change. So I want to give this one as a 10, and this one zip I want to give 10, so that will not fail any length issues. So done. So now I want to read from Excel, and I want to write onto the positional file. So how to read the file, metadata from file? So select the address, drag that address component. You can see right now delimiter have a n number of components. You can use the same schema, but coming to the Excel, you'll see only two components, which is input and output. So you can select, if you want to read, then you have to select the input. So input component. So you have selected input component. So everything now, where is the file and what is the repository and what is the header. So you can find these all options which you are, when you are taking as a built-in also, you'll see same options, but only difference, it is a readable mode, you cannot edit. You want to edit, then you have to change the property type to built-in, so that you can able to edit it. So I want to write this data onto the positional file. T file output positional. So now I'm going to take this row main, we want to pass the data. So you want to pass data from Excel to positional file. So you can select this. Now where is the path? So automatically schema is synced. So now you can see positional file has a option to refer from any edit schema, like a metadata schema. So again you don't see, right? So it has only empty positional file. So you want to make empty positional file, you can create a file and you can start using that metadata file. So now again we are going to create one meta output positional file. So I'm going to give there, go to these documents. This one, Excel to positional file. Excel to positional file. The extension is anything you can give. I'm just going to give as a dat. Okay, and you can see, right, size and alignment is left, and I want to include header. Generally will not have, but still I want to include header for this. So I'm just added a header. Go to run this job again. So right now it is going to be run parallelly. So you want to make a dependency, because this is reading from Excel. So Excel is created, then that same Excel we are trying to read and create a positional file. So it is a dependency is there. So the data is coming from delimiter and it is trying to create a Excel data. From Excel data to positional file we are trying to generate. So it is a dependent. So this process is dependent on this process. Then what connection we have to establish? on sub job okay, so that the first one has to complete first, then it will pick up the next flow. So that when you see that kind of any dependency between the flows, then you establish the connection between the associated connection. So connection makes a sense to them when to start that next process. So if you are not going to establish the connection, so while it is a less data, so 3 rows means it won't take much time, so it will be able to pick. So otherwise what will happen, it will throw error, there is no file in this location, because it's going to override the file and it will recreate the file. So it's going to check that file exists or not if it is running parallelly. So meanwhile it is creating, the file is not exist in that location, then it will throw error. So entire job is going to fail, because this job is failed, this process is failed, because there is no file. But to avoid that kind of things, and if it is a make sense, right, if there is a something is a dependent on it, so we have to wait. So somebody is working on your team, he is doing something which is going to be input for you, then you have to wait for him to complete the task, and then you have to start your work. Same way here also, the process is doing something, and after the process completed, then only something you want to start, then you have to establish a connection as on sub job okay. So this is entire thing, these are two sub jobs, this is a job, under that you see the two sub jobs. So one job, this is sub job 1 and sub job 2. So to between the sub job 1 and sub job 2, you want to establish a connection, then you have to use the sub job okay. So I'm going to run this again, and I'm going to close this open file. When you are writing, right, make sure when you have closed. So reading time also better to close it, but okay. But when you are writing, make sure you have closed it, because it's not able to override when you are some process is using. This means you are somebody is reading, then why you are trying to write. Yes, it's done. Then we'll go this location, and you can find, yeah, you can see, right, metadata excel to positional file. See, it is created, and we have a headers also. I'm going to close this. So now how to create a positional file again, metadata. So go to metadata, where is the positional file, here is our positional file, and search for that positional file. Why we are creating this metadata? So reusable. So you want to reuse a number of times, you can easily use that whenever you want. So you have to select start dot start, then you can find, here you can see, right, it is a graphical representation. So here you can find what is your first column, so 1 to 10, and 10th position to you can find you want 30th position or 25th position, you can select here. So the position you can define, how much length you want, you can define here. So till first position to 10th position, you are. So this is the same thing which you have seen in a your built-in. So here you can define the lengths of each and every field. So lengths of each and every field. So here you can select 10 comma 20, or you have given 30. So and you can select 40. Next it's not allowing. So you see, right, this file has some issue, so it's not able to adjust whatever you are defining, because the file is it's not aligned, so you can see that positions are changed. So what we have to do, we have to check when you are creating a file, what is the position. So this kind of differences you can see in a, when you are creating a positional file. So what is the length? So this is name you have given 18, so 18 characters it is taking, but you are trying to give as a 30, then the overlapping the address field. So then what we have to do, we have to change the length of source file itself. I'm going to change 10, 30. Address I'm going to give as 50. And city I'm going to give as 20. And state I'm going to give as 20. Zip I'm going to give as 20. So this same schema, we want same one from a repository also. So what we have to do, so we have to go to the, so this one has a built-in, so we are able to change here. So you want to change this a same lengths and all from the input file also, we you are using a metadata, then you have to go to the metadata. Here you can again same whatever changes you made in this your job, right? So you are decided what data types you want to use, so you can just copy paste here. So automatically it will reflect to everyone, so whoever going to use your thing, and you can sync a columns, and you can find the lengths are up to date whatever you have done in your previous process. So I'm going to close again, this is close, and I'm going to run again. So that's where positional file, when you are working, careful you are, if you are creating or if you are reading, so make sure the length and the data is coming as expected defined length. Otherwise it will overlap, it will not allow. You are seeing right, when I am creating to metadata, it is showing the wrong like a long lengths and all, so the data is getting overlapped by the other field and all. So now again we'll try now. I don't want to open directly, we'll see if there is an issue, we'll fix it again. So going to the positional again, I'm selecting address. Now you can define 10 comma 30 comma 50 comma. Next 40 plus 50 90. So next city we have provided 20. 90 plus 20 110. You can see how the arrow marks are automatically coming. After that we have provided 20, so 130. So next we provided 10, 140. So now you can see right, the successfully the lengths of each and every field I have defined. So you can see the first is a field separator. So field separator is the exact length of each and every field, and marker position. So this is the UI, and you are creating metadata. So you can able to, you can instead of you are doing, you are calculated, like you are able to calculate the length of each and everything, and I'm doing adding and all. If you are not able to do, you can adjust these arrows, because it's a UI graphical representation, so you can able to adjust if your data is not accurately is coming. So you can see the where the first position of each and every column you can find here. So that first position of this one started from 10th position, and this one started from 40th position, this one started from 90th position. Like this you can able to see that orange color arrow, which you can able to adjust in UI also. But if you are able, if you are able to find the lens and all you are familiar, then you have to go to this one. So adjusting here also will help. But if you are familiar with what the length and all as per the layout which is provided by them, so based on that you can provide, so you can see exactly it is working as expected, the data separation and all. It's a field separation here, it is a fixed length. The field separation is not a special character. It is a length is the field separator. That's where you can see the field separator is length. So exact length of each and every field is given in the field separator. And marker position, which is a UI, so you don't see this option in your component level. This is a metadata level. You are able to see the exactly what is the length and all to adjust your. So in a component level you don't see this kind of arrows and all to adjust your data as per your based on your data and all. This is only option available in metadata, so that by seeing the view, so metadata intention, you can see the view, the define properly is generated the file or not, even you are going to input or is going to be output, you can able to view. This is kind of preview, right? So if you are going to share something, you have to check first, is this exactly expected output by the others or not, so that the preview will give you the exact marker of each and every position, so that you can able to confirm the data which you generated as followed the layout lengths and all. So now I'm going to finish this, and you have header, so I am going to select the header. So now you can see, right, this is coming beautifully, and we have a extra column. So if you don't want it, you can delete in the here, you can delete it simply, so the file will be created. So now you want to read from positional. What you have to do? You have to select the positional and what components are coming. So again, it is coming input positional file, output positional file. Only these two components are able to read your metadata file, and your file input Microsoft positional. So this is also same. So kind of other type of positional file which you can find in the MS positional file. So now I'm going to take input file positional. So I want to print just a log row for now. So just to confirm it is reading properly or not from the positional file based on length. So here again dependency is the positional need to create it first, and then it will read from the positional file. So I'm creating again sub job. Okay. So now you will see, right. So data is reading from that positional file properly. So you can see the look and feel of data reading. Okay. So now, so what we are understanding here, so built-in and repository. So built-in, what is the advantage, and repository, what are the advantage? So built-in is going to available within your job. So within job you can update, add, change whatever you want. But repository means once created, one time creation. So you want to edit, so you have to go at the repository level. So edit option will be available in repository level. So if you reflect that change, automatically it will affect to all the persons, but built in it will affect to your job only, so others cannot identify till they open your job. And what is the use? Built in is going to be a repeated work. So if you are going to use the same file, so n number of times it's a rework for you to copy the schema, pasting the schema. But here it is a once created, it can be reusable. And data types are, so once the metadata data types are fixed, so there is no confusion on your data types, what data types are you are going to use, because as per your job requirement you want to take any data types, then within the job you have to convert it. But built in it is going to be each and every developer their own data types they may use to complete their work, so that is going to give other problem. So we have to make sure that the data types are as per the source whatever they have provided, so that data type is going to be fixed, it's not going to change as per your independent. So like independent jobs you are doing, also you have to check what data type is the target system is looking for and what data type we have in the source system. So these kind of common things are the built-in is going to within your job, so everything is going to be a in your responsibility. So if you are doing some mistake it will reflect your job alone. And if it is going, you are going to load into target system, so if you load something, if it is a string generally, but you have loaded as a, for example here zip, right? So you thought it is going to be a string, but actually the zips are going to be a numeric. So why you are creating a string? So to avoid that confusion, string is going to allow anything, so you don't get any error. So but target system, the table definition they have defined as a integer, then you are trying to write as a integer string to string, you are writing integer type to string value, then you are going to get a number format exception, so it won't allow you, right? So it won't allow you to write into the integer data type into the string. So that's where you have to be carefully deal with the data types. And metadata is advantage is, so metadata is going to help you to cover that kind of issues. So what data type you are following, what data type you are using, and what is the file location, and what are the fields. So if you don't want, for example in this file I don't want to use all the fields, then you can read the metadata still, and you want to remove the fields from this, you want only name and address of this file, then you can change to built-in and you can find edit option, that is going to be allowed and recommended. So you don't want to read all these fields, you want to just read from the first fields, then you don't want to see this kind of data, or you don't want to read it, you can able to modify. So but still you don't change the existing metadata just within your job, you don't want other fields, so you can just select and you can delete these fields. So only you want id address, as per your requirement you want those three fields, then what you have to do, you have to remove that three fields. Now you can select schema and you can see whatever you are expecting three fields, those three fields only you are trying to read from the file. So you can delete if you want within your job, but you don't delete in the metadata. So you will go and delete in the metadata, then it will reflect to the other employees who are all using your job. But now you want only three fields, so you can do it in your job, but again it is going to be a built-in, so you cannot change in the repository level. So you want to change in the repository level, then you have to confirm anybody is using the same metadata. If they are using all the fields, then you should not delete, right? So it is respect to your job, so you can able to delete and modify. Or you want to read the same, so you can read the same and you can play with your within your job. So that's where you are going to use a mapper. So transformation you are going to use. Now you see all the fields you are reading. So now all the fields you are reading, but you don't want to change the schema, but still you want only three fields. Then what we have to do, we have a mapper component. We are introducing one key component which is the heart of any ETL. But coming to Talend, tmap is a one component which is processing data between source and targets. So it's going to be n number of sources, n number of outputs. So the component will allow you to generate a n number of outputs, and it is allow you to read from n number of inputs. So this is heart of the Talend. So everybody will ask you, so what components are used for mapper? So in any other tool you'll have a same kind of similar maplet and all. So here it is going to be called as a tmap. So data flows, there is a flow connector. So here you can use as a tmap. So tmap is a one component which will help you to read the data from source and write onto the target systems. So right now the simple why we are introducing this component, we want to read only specific columns as per your requirement in your job. So I have the schema, somebody has like a defined and mentioned that you have to use this field whenever you want a address related file as a lookup or a source you are trying to load somewhere, then make sure you are using the same repository. So I am using the same one, but I don't want all the fields to be in our target. So what I can do, I'll remove this my output side. So the output is my requirement. So as per my job, my story, I have to create only three fields. So then what I have to do, I have to select only those two fields, like three fields. So mapper you are connected, and you can open that, and you can find that there is a input and output. This the left side is called input, right side is called output. So three, five, six fields we have in input, but you want only three fields in output. So that's how you can customize your output fields and all. You want to add a new fields also, which are not coming from source, still you can add in the output. So that is up to you. So what you are going to do in the output side, you can define a number of fields as per your business rules or validations, whatever they are going to ask. But reading from source, all fields you are going to read, but you are going to use only three fields. How to map this one? You can drag and drop. That is a first option. So you want to map between source and destination, or input and output, or source or target. So whatever they call it. So you want to map between source and target, you can select that field and you can drag and drop. Okay, so this is how you are going to map. This is the first option, how to map this one. Second one, which you have a schema names are same. So right side and left side, the schema names are same. Then you can delete these things. Just you have a simple option which can automatically map all the fields. So just you can see here, right on top of this output link, you can find the auto map. Just click on auto map. What will happen, it will look for field names. So field names left side and field names our right side. So the field names are matches. It is a like it will check for the field name completely matches with the same or not. If it matches, then automatically it will map all the fields. So instead of doing one by one, you can easily use the auto map one. So now I'm going to delete again. I'll change my this one, right. I want right side, I want all like a small case. This is my requirement is asked by the who are going to use my file. They asked me to create a lower case headers. Now still do you feel the auto map works? It is working or not? Again I am clicking auto map. So it is working or not? So it is not bother about the case, it is bother about the definition, like its address. Here it is a lowercase address name. So case it is not checking, it will complete word meaning of the word, and it is matches with the same like a same value. The value of the field is same, then it will not bother about the case. If you are writing a small, or if you are writing a camel case, or you are writing a uppercase, so you want to use this complete uppercase also, we have seen that it is because it's the same as in here left side and right side. So it is able to map. I'm going to delete this. Now you click on auto map, then automatically it will match it. And I want to address, so I want to add some more like something like address data. So now I'm going to remove this. Now if I click auto map, it will work? No, because it is not finding the matching value added columns in the right side, it is seeing something address underscore data. Its complete word is not equivalent. The value of the where column is not equivalent because something it is saying different underscore data or something. But as per our requirement, the address field need to be mapped to the address data field in the target side. So that is our requirement. So target side, when you are creating a field names, so they ask you to create as a id name all lowercase, and the last field they ask you to create as a address underscore data. So then what you have to do, you manually have to move this one. We understand that address data is equivalent to the address field in the source system, so we don't worry about automap is working or not. So you can just simply and drag into the this one. So now you understand this one, right? So if you want to have only few fields from the metadata, so you have to use option one is you can make it built in that input component and delete whatever fields you don't want. Or other option, don't touch the file, you don't change the built-in in your job also, just use the mapper component. So mapper component will help you to customize your outputs and perform the transformations and all. So now with this you understand extract load till now completely, but with this tmap you understand transformation, but we didn't make much transformations here. But we see that one kind of renaming of the field here. It is not a like it's a transformation only. So transformation means source it has an address, and target they want as address underscore data. So it's kind of simple transformation on your definition of a file. So if you want to perform any transformation, then you have to use the mappers. So mappers are is going to be a tmap is the one component which will help you to make your transformation efficiently in Talend. So other components will be there, but tmap is the one which is going to help you to perform your efficiently transforming your data. So you want to perform any kind of like a validation or a business checks, or you want to add some kind of transformation logics. So all things we are going to perform in a tmap. So from this, right? So first thing we know, reading. So extracting data from files. So that is extract as part of ETL. So you understand extracting the data from files, and you are trying to load. So you are creating output files. So load, you are loading somewhere. It is going to be a anything. So any different types of files you are able to load the data. So you understand extracting and loading the data. So now you simply introducing the transform. So transform means you have to change. Input is something, output is output. You are trying to create a generate something, so you want to perform some kind of transformation. That's where you are going to use that transformation. So complete this flow, you can call it as a ETL. So ETL means E means extract, and you want to transform whatever business is asking to perform on data. So this is a simple transformation. So this is not you cannot treat it as it's not a transformation. It is a transformation. Source has some field names, and target you want to have create a different field names. So that is also transformation, right? So behavior of the metadata is changed. So the metadata earlier it was id name address, that one you made it as a simple lowercase, and you have added a underscore data for a address field. So the metadata of your file and the target file definition you have changed. That is a transformation requested by the business. So to perform any transformations, we are going to use the tmap component. With this basically we understand. We didn't make much transformations, but still we can understand, we can follow. So you want to perform any transformation, we are going to use a tmap in Talend. And one more concept you understand, reading, writing. Between you want to do any performance transformation, then you are going to use the tmap. So read, write, between transform. So full this form is ETL. So extract, transform, load the data. Okay. So and I have a like this is the one. So I want to create a one more file which is going to have one more output which is going to have all the fields. So how you can create in the tmap? So you can go to here, you can see a option. So you can read this add output table. So one more map or output. You want to create a one more output with the same file. You want one file has 3 fields and other file has 6 fields. So then you have to click output to, you can say all fields. So you can name it anything. So now one more output is created. No, no, and you want to have all this schema as it is, whatever you have in the source. This is another output. So you can create another output. You can just drag and drop automatically. It will create another output. So, but you didn't have any output where you have to send this. So I want to add one more log row. I want to print another output. Earlier we are writing one to one. Now we are trying to create multiple outputs, same input, but outputs are multiple. So using transformation component, this is again transformation, right? One person wants to behave multiple behaviors you want to show. So then you have to use a transformation, the kind of transformation. So example, we have seen Aparachit, right? So that movie, so how he is going to behave, the person is same, but when the situation changes he will react a different way. So the change of a transformation is how quickly he will move, the based on the situation. Same, the business is going to ask you the any output which has like this, and this output has to like this, and this output has to go somewhere, and this output has to go somewhere, but source is the one source is the one, but the output destinations you are going to have multiple. So the behavior of file and situations are going to change, but they are going to give only one input, but that is the requirement. Then you have to give the transformation, so you have to play with the transformation. So now one more is ask is, you have to create a one more output with all the fields. So I'm going to do that. So you can use the tmap, you can have a add another output. So input is a one, or you can use another output also, but the input you are going to use another input also. So tmap is going to allow one source with multiple outputs. So the point I am trying to add here, so when you are trying to transform the data from source to target, you want to add n number of outputs. So you can use a tmap which can help you to create a multiple outputs. And yesterday, like a Friday, we have seen one source and you are trying to create a multiple outputs. Which component you use? T replicate. So replicate there, you cannot do any schema changes. You can able to use the multiple things, you can able to create replicate. So you can just use the same schema and you can create a multiple outputs. Here what is the difference? We are trying to read the same schema, but you can customize your output schemas. So in replicate component you don't have that option. Replicate is nothing but a, it's kind of uh, as it is, whatever is the source, same thing you want to create a multiple outputs. But tmap is not like that. You can customize, you can add or you can remove the fields which you want to see in the output side. So input side whatever is the fixed, so you can read, but writing side you can customize the different outputs. So you can create a multiple outputs when somebody asks when you want to create a multiple outputs in Talend, then what is the component? Then you have to use the tmap. So tmap is a component which can help you to create a n number of outputs. Input is one, but outputs are n. So now I'm going to run this job. Now you can see, right? So with first transformation, so we are going to see the uh, 3 fields, and second transformation taken target, we want all the fields. Okay, this is how you can generate a multiple outputs. And what is the metadata? So metadata is a reusable component, and once created you can use a number of times within this job. So I want to use the same positional file in this job. So what you are going to do, just you are going to drag and drop this component. So even you are not interested to drag from this component, you can select the positional file, and you can browse the you can browse that file, whatever positional file you want to read, you can browse from your input also. Automatically it will reflect the changes, a path, everything is going to be reflected. At least you can take the schema and you want to change the file, so the layout of the file schema is same, but the only difference, there may be lengths are changed. So now you see, right, all whatever we have in a metadata, the positions, the file path, everything, but still the schema you want, only you want to read that schema, but still you want to customize something, then what you have to do, you have to make it as a built-in. So automatically when you change the built-in, so you have a option to edit. So you want to change the length, when you are reading a file you want to change the length, because as per your file it is going to be, so address is not 60, so you want to customize that. But the labels or a field names, a definition of complete, if you are going to call a definition means of the schema, it's going to be complete, like a data type and a length and whatever precision, whatever field names, everything. But as per you, the field names only same, but the length are different, then you can make it a built-in, read the data from repository, the metadata schema, and you want to update the lengths, you can update a change it to built-in. So after changing to built-in, you can able to edit the length of the fields. So that's how you can able to reuse that you are using. So metadata you are reusing, but exactly you are not able to use, because as per you, the length is a different. Okay, so with this I'm going to stop here. So we have started introducing the transformation. We'll go in deeper all the options and how we are going to utilize the transformations and things will start with this. We are able to understand file system, so how many types of files and how to read the input different files, and how to write the different files, and how to create a metadata, how to is a built-in. So the generic concept of built-in and repository is not going to change for if you are using any components. If you are going to use any database components, or you are going to use any Hadoop related components, the built-in metadata components is a generic, it's a general concept of any ETL. And coming to this tool, you can able to follow the data definition you are going to define in a metadata. So once you are defining in a repository, it is a reusable. And files are, it's up to your requirement, you are going to get a different kind of what they have, like it's going to be a legacy, what they have Excel. And if they are very advanced, they are going to use a parquet files, or it's going to be a HDFS files, so that the file names are going to change, and how the files what is the behavior of that file, it depends on the technology which you are going to integrate. So there you can find again the schema, how it is going to be like a separator, or if it is a even HDFS files also, you will see that kind of separators and columnar database and all. So the concept you understand, then you just go to the component and you can understand what needs to be configured to make read the data, or when you are generating data, how they want to look like the output file to process the next from there. So that kind of things you can able to by like it's going to be a by practice and by understanding of your level of technical skills, that will make you to make use of the latest technologies or things. So generic things you have to always you remember, right? So it's not going to change. The metadata is the you are hearing from your academic itself, it's not a new thing which is related to this technology or other technology. So the basics you are able to follow, you can use n number of components. Now I am explaining 20 components, but tomorrow you are going to work on other 20 components, but the concepts are not going to change. That's where just practice the things and understand what you are configuring, so that you'll next time when you get a new component or new technology, then you can find what is the difference between old what we have used Excel and now what we are using in a HDFS. So why the difference also, it will make sense the configurations. So why Excel and why delimited file? What is the advantage of delimited file? What is the advantage of Excel file? So what is the positional file? Why we are using, why they are using a positional file? Why they are asking a positional file? This kind of questions are, if you are generating when you are practicing, you can think yourself. So always write. So competitors and utilities, features, everything will be up to their product owners. So they are going to think and they are going to deliver so competitive products. So now Talend is one, and other people they'll use a Pentaho and they'll use a Informatica. So the tools and purpose are going to be the same, but why they are using is going to be their perspective. They're going to have think their individual advantages, individual benefits. Okay, so just start practicing components, think yourself, because we cannot cover all the whatever Talent has 1050 components or 1000 components we cannot discuss. So this is why I am trying to conclude, right? File system like input output we are covered, but exercise when going to start use, we are going to use repeated components, but we'll add one more like a one more feature, like how complex we can do that kind of things. But with this file system related reading writing we are completed, and we started transformations on file system. So I'm going on base like one by one. I'm not bothering about how many components I'm going to discuss. So just I'm recapping, and even when you are learning also you have to think that direction. So what you are learning, how you are going your process. So learning 20 components or 30 components, what interview they are going to ask, it's not going to take much time. But understanding basics and following and guiding yourself is very important. When you are doing something, so you have to guide yourself first. Self guidance is important when you are technically working on something. Okay, so I'm going to stop here. If you have any questions you can ask me.